Welcome back, guys, to the Graham Sports Network. Today we have a season review with some state champions. So we got Coach Andrea Mitchem and Coach Leah Plott here from the cheer team. So guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Coach Mitchem, we're going to just talk kind of about the preseason. When do tryouts take place?
We have tryouts in the spring, about April, for sideline. And then we go through the summer, and we can't have competition cheer tryouts until season opens. This year it was July 27th. So we had our competition team tryout then. And then anybody else can come and try out for competition. It's usually the same girls, but we can't do the competition team until season opens for the fall.
So you're starting so you'll be back at it here, the springtime this year. So it's a long season.
Yeah,
wow.
Very long.
So I know my sister was a cheerleader, and she was on I think she was actually competition captain back in the day. She's older than me, so she's up there. But where is cheer camp? What all kind of goes into all of that?
Okay, this year we didn't go anywhere for cheer camp. This being our first year at the high school, we didn't have all of that ready yet. So we had a choreography camp here in July 28th, that weekend. And we had a choreographer come in for our routine, and we spent 2 full days learning that new routine and had a camp there. But all summer we have 2 days a week working on things for cheer, for sideline and things like that. And we work on stunting and tumbling. So we didn't go anywhere. We plan on doing that this coming summer. Okay. It's in the works. But this year we didn't get to go anywhere.
Okay. So who's in charge of coming up with that routine?
We hire a choreographer.
Okay.
This year it was Sarah Carball. She comes up with a routine, and then we work on it all season long and fix little things. And we actually, a lot changed from the beginning to the end, but the main part of it stayed the same.
Okay. How long typically is a routine?
3 minutes.
Okay.
So we have, we always tell the girls that in other sports, if you mess up, you have another play to fix it. In competition cheer, you have 3 minutes, and if you screw up, you're done.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure.
So what types of things do you focus on, I guess, when the choreographer comes in? Are there like certain things that judges look for in a routine?
Mm-hmm. Do you want to answer that one?
I can. So they're mainly looking for execution of like different skills, looking for creativity, and just your overall energy in the cheer. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't believe how many points you can get just from simple energy from the cheerleaders, from your fans participating in. But a lot of it is right down to execution. Okay. A big part of the score sheet I say the top half of the score sheet, is execution. It's for stunts, it's for pyramid, jumps, tumbling. You all have to know how to do that and execute it well.
Okay. And that kind of leads up, because I was going to ask you some of these next questions. How do you balance sideline cheer and comp cheer? Because it's really 2 different teams, 2 different sports. I know just one team, one sport is a handful in itself, let alone having 2 at the same time. How do you balance all that?
So I know we do, at least this year we did competition several days during the week, and then we would do sideline practice after competition practice was shortened. So that way we stayed within that 2-hour mark. And we would do sideline afterwards, and that's where we would practice our cheers, dances, get ready for pep rallies, and I guess just learn new material.
And we do a lot of that in the summer, the sideline stuff in the summer.
Okay.
Since we can't work on competition until season starts, in the summertime we're learning our cheers, we're making our posters, we're doing our pep rally stuff, trying to get all that sideline taken care of, so that our biggest focus in the fall is competition.
Okay, gotcha. So what do some of those practices look like? Are you focusing more on stunts, more on choreography, just the entire thing from start to finish? Anything you really focus on?
We really focus on the entire routine as a whole. We'll spend a certain amount of time for stunts, a certain amount of time for tumbling, cheer, dance. We kind of break it up so that way we can do multiple full outs each day. So that way they're learning the routine, they're getting the stamina for the routine, so that way they can execute it well.
Yeah, there's and you kind of mentioned it earlier, that's so much pressure, because other sports have 60 minutes to play or 30 minutes to play, and you have 3 minutes to be perfect.
Mhm.
That's tough. How do you prepare for that?
You want to speak on that one?
Sure. Um, we have to rely on a lot of practice and a lot of
Yeah,
drilling.
yeah,
So, well, our stunting and our tumbling, we drill every day at practice. We practice 4 to 5 times a week. We had several 6 a.m. practices this season.
mm,
We had Saturday practices. So it's just drill, 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 repetition, repetition. And we go to our what we call invitationals. So the competitions on Saturdays are kind of a practice for the regional
yeah,
competition and the state competition. So the difference between our very first competition, September 23rd, I think it was, to our last competition was incredible
yeah.
because it's just a matter of getting out there and getting in front of people. We would bring parents in the Thursday before a competition to get jitters out too.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
it's just repetition and drilling
yeah,
is
okay.
basically all it is.
Um, so when it comes to some of these in-season competitions, how many teams show up for those invitationals?
At the entire invitational, it can be anywhere from 20 to 30 teams, but they are divided up by class. So in our class, we would have 8 to 12 each
Hmm.
competition that we would compete against.
Okay. So then we got to host the regions this
Mhm.
year. Um, and I know Sophia did a student athlete spotlight with the and she kind of talked about the difference between an invitational like that and the region tournament. But do you guys want to go in depth about what's the biggest difference between those invitationals and region and even state tournaments?
Well, kind of like what Andrea said, the invitationals are kind of like practice. It gives you an idea of what you're scoring on the rubrics because that's what it tells you how you're doing, what you
Hmm.
need to improve on. Judges will give you pointers. So that's where you're getting a lot of your information from. And then regions, that's the that's what makes or break you.
Yeah,
That's what will determine if you get to go to state, and you have to be basically perfect on
yeah,
that day. So that one is probably one of the biggest deals because I mean, if you don't do well there, you don't even get to make it to state.
yeah.
And then
And you have to do it twice.
yeah, and you have to do it twice.
It's 2 rounds.
Yes,
Okay.
hopefully.
So
Okay.
the regular comp season, you only do it once.
Okay.
But as soon as you get to region, you have to do it twice, and you have to make the top. This year it was 4. It depends on how many's competing, and then you would do it again. So you have to be perfect twice.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's tough. So yeah, I know judging. So judging's more strict, I guess, in that sense too.
Yes.
Um, so before you guys take the mat, what's it like being around the team? Are they like super jittery? Are they super nervous? Are they just amped up, ready to roll? What's that like?
It's a little of both. So they get, especially at the beginning of the season, they're very nervous. But our girls this year are incredible, and that we have really good leadership on our team, and we have a chant that we do before we go onto the mat. We actually had 2 this year. So the girls took a little bit from the football team,
Yeah. Okay.
and we had a little saying that went along with what the boys do that we kind of did behind closed doors
Yeah.
because it wasn't appropriate to do
Okay.
it.
Okay. All right.
And it would get them psyched up and ready to go. And then we had one we would do out on the mat before they announced us, and that we are really big in faith and sticking together and being one as a whole.
Yeah.
So we always had those kind of things that we talked about and came together as one before every competition.
Yeah. Well, sounds like it's working. So, but to kind of wrap this thing up, I mean, any other specific memories from the beginning of the year, which I mean, I guess happened last in the springtime to being state champions? Any other memories?
I just think that we, as a group, these girls and us and our parents, we have a really strong knit community within our group.
Mhm.
We had lots of team dinners and hanging
Yeah.
out together. We even did yoga together,
Okay.
and
All right.
just the bond that those girls formed. And I think of them all as other daughters, and I'm sure she does too, even though she's not quite as old as me. But it's just the memories of being together, laughing. We have blooper videos, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a lot of fun. They work extremely hard,
Yeah.
and the physical stuff that they do is so hard on their body, and they get hurt and they get injured just like any sport, but they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and to come out at the end of state championship made it all worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Plott, you got any special memories?
I mean, really just to match like what Andrea said, that the team dinners I felt like made a really big difference with these girls, because it was time outside of cheer, outside of school, where they could just bond and be silly together and goof off and have fun. And I feel like we built like a really good rapport with the girls this year, and
Cool.
just built really good relationships with them. And like she said, our group of parents have been amazing. Our community has been amazing. So that's played a big role into it.
I can't say, and to add to that, I can't say anything. I'm going to get all, I'm so sorry.
Come on, that's fine. Come on, bring it. That's okay.
The community was incredible this year. That I've never seen. I've been going to competition cheer that we've hosted for invitationals for a long time, since my daughter was little. And the community that came out for that regional competition, and the ones that drove all the way to Richmond, the kids here that came, just like makes me want to cry. Like, it was incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Great. Well, I mean, congratulations on a great season. I think I mentioned at the beginning, in case you didn't know, or you haven't been on Facebook or anything, they won the state championship. So, which doesn't happen. I mean, it's really hard to win a state championship. And I think that's the second one for the cheer girls. So, and also, it's only their first season. So we're 1 for 1. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And to everybody else, we're transitioning from fall to winter sports. So be sure to stay tuned to Granny Sports Network. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram now, Facebook and Twitter. So just subscribe, follow us through there, and stay tuned for the next one.